Good morning, my friends. Got the coffee ready, got some plays ready. Hopefully, we can have as much success today as we did yesterday. Landed on Pablo Lopez, Bobby Miller, and a 5-player Atlanta Braves stack. Yeah, that went pretty well yesterday. Let's do it again right here, right now. All right, so I've blown up my screen. I'm like super zoomed in, so this data looks good. As looking on data for a stream sometimes can get funky if it's too small. So down at the bottom of the MLB DFS Study Hub, there are so many tabs that you can do research on for batters, for pitchers, stacking, projection percentile, StatCast data, trending data. So I went all the way over to the far right, this little hidden tab. You guys don't use this as much. I love it. I like to see who's hot and who's not. So I'm looking at the trending stacks for teams. And I've got the team list here. And over here, you can see the last 14 days. These are their splits against the opposing pitcher's handedness. And I can see Seattle red hot, right? Well, that's against 28 plate appearances of a left-handed pitcher. So maybe I can throw that out the window. It's just too small of a sample size. But I've got two other teams right here, Cleveland and Houston, looking pretty darn good as of late. Maybe not the pop we need out of Cleveland, but definitely some of the peripheral metrics here with WOBA and walk rate. And, well, they're scoring runs. So I like Cleveland today. Houston, of course, looks like they're turning up the heat a little bit. And when I slide over here and I look at the left, well, Houston's team projection, not the hottest right now, but their ownership is super low. So I'm going to be rolling with these two teams as my primary stack targets. Looks like the industry is going to be all over Arizona, Texas, and the Dodgers today, the Mets as well. So I'm going over to batter trends. That's the very next tab over down here at the bottom of the screen. You can click on this. And what I've done is I've sorted Cleveland and the projected orders 1 through 9. Okay. How did I do that? Well, go to the top and I have clicked Cleveland, and then you hold on to the control button and I clicked Houston so that I had just those two teams on tonight's main slate. And I can look at their trending data. Then I sorted by the team. I held onto the control button again, and I sorted A to Z for the projected orders. So if you hold on control, you can do multiple things. So we've got Houston against George Kirby, who's looked terrible the last 5 starts. And guess what? I know it's not showing up right now because this is preliminary upload this morning. They're facing Jordan Lyles today. Jordan Lyles has given up 3+ earned runs in 14 of 16 starts this year. So Cleveland with Tanner Bibby on the mound tonight against an inferior KC batting team and pitcher on the mound. So and you can look at the last 14 days. And these are some of the guys I'm going to try to make sure I get some exposure to. Ahmed Rosario. You can see these are the last 14 days pitcher handedness splits. So I've got Rosario looking decent there. Maybe definitely going to get some Jose Ramirez in the heart of the order here, who's been just looking hot. Making good contact and hard contact here with the ISO at 313. If you wanted to go look at his StatCast data to look at his actual hard hit percentage and all that stuff, it's down here at the bottom. You can look at the StatCast matchup, StatCast stacks. You can do all that stuff you guys like to do on Fangraphs and every other website out there. We put it all on a single page. And if you want access to that page, let me see. Right there, boom, code donuts, 50% off. You get 50% off your first month. It makes it $14.99. And you're going to get access to the best optimizer in the industry, which I'm going to be showing you here in a hot second. That's going to be Fancy Cruncher. So here, let's make a lineup. Oh, by the way, we've added this page over the last week or two. As people, we haven't really announced it, but here it is. Under the MLB tab, you've got the starting lineups tab, and it's basically just this overview. Automatically updates throughout the day as lineups are confirmed, and it gives you kind of a quick glance to see, who's in, who's not, and you can, go through this as lineups are coming out, and hopefully that helps you, put you in a good spot for the day. So I'm going to go to the projections page. Let me unzoom my page here. 200% I had that at today, so you guys could see better. All right, so this is my normal. I've got DraftKings. Looks like it was updated this morning, 8:03. I'm going to download it. CSV popped up in the bottom left. I'm going to go over to Fantasy Cruncher, upload data, upload file. There it is. I've got the skip all button, uncheck, uncheck. What this means is I'm skipping all of these. I don't want to add, by the way, a lot of people like to use the 85th percentile batting projections to give them a little bit more weight in their crunches. But I'm not going to add any of this right now. Just for the sake of this video, I'm clicking skip all, unchecking name and projection, add to table, upload. Don't sweat this. X that out. All right, so I've got the main slate loaded up. 6-gamer tonight, 7:05. Pitchers, I kind of glossed over it today, but I'm going to roll out Tanner Bibby as a lock today against KC. They have the 3rd highest strikeout rate against right-handed pitchers and 3rd worst average against right-handed pitchers over the last 14 days. So I want to make sure I get Bibby in there. And for my hitters, remember, we did talk about this with Cleveland and Houston. There were a few guys that I really wanted to make sure I targeted. So here's what happens when I'm really zoomed out. You guys can't even see it anymore. Let's just go back. But there's a few hitters I'm going to try to make sure I get, and I'll talk about them as we get going. I'm going to go to the advanced options. I'm not too concerned about any of this right now. It just doesn't matter because I'm making a single lineup for the video. I'm going to go to team stacks, add team stack. I want a 5-player stack. I'm removing all teams because I'm just going to add in the couple that I really wanted today. I'm going to sort by Team Vegas prediction. I like getting a nice little quick overview of the slate. There's Cleveland with the 2nd highest IRT today, implied run total. And I'm going to pop in Houston down there as well. So I'm making sure I get stacks from those 2 teams. Sure, I could stack up, I can target a few other teams that I like. Texas, the Dodgers, and I think the Mets were also very popular. I like them as well. I think Baltimore is potentially a team that we could stack against Luis Severino. It just doesn't look good right now. But I digress. I'm rolling out Cleveland and Houston. I'm going to come over here. I just want to see what happens. I've got in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, I know it's hard to see as I have my little, streaming layout, but I'm going to select one lineup using my projections and crunch. But before I do that, I got to make sure I add in all the pitchers. So I'm going to crunch now that I've added all the pitchers, and I make sure I lock in Bibby. And the initial placeholder lineup comes out as Framber Valdez against Seattle. We have Tanner Bibby against KC, who I locked. It pumped out a 5-player stack of the Cleveland Indians, which is going to make me happy. And of course, this is what we talked about, making sure I get some exposure to Jose Ramirez, which is fantastic. And then it gives me a one-off of 2 offenses who I just mentioned, who that I also like. The industry is on. Lead off, a table setter for the New York Mets against Rin Nelson, contact pitcher for Arizona. You get the lefty-righty matchup. You get Jalen Duren, table setter against Nathan Eovaldi, making his return to Fenway tonight. And then Travis Janikowski is basically a value piece down here for Texas against Cutter Crawford. So not a bad way to have a placeholder lineup. Not entirely sure if I had this zoomed in. Of course, I did not. So it's probably hard to see as I did a lot of that. But here we are. Pause the video, slow it down, do what you need to do. My placeholder for the day, I like this one. I'm going to let it ride. We'll come back, check it out tomorrow. I believe yesterday's placeholder finished with 130 points, and that was with 0 out of one of my pitchers due to a rain delay. And I think most of the cut lines yesterday were like 134 or something. So would have been pretty easy. Actually, there were 2 guys. I think my catcher and first base also were not in lineups, and I still scored a $130 with the placeholder. So let's see if we can have as much success today as we did yesterday. You're going to have to make sure you confirm these lineups. Again, you guys can use our lineups page. You can also use our MLB Study Hub, lots of other tools. You'll have all the content, the cores, strategy notebook, which seems to be a huge crowd favorite since we've added this year. And if you want access to all this, my friends, again, you can access it down below. Code DONUTS, 50% off. Also, thank you. I saw yesterday 4 people leave comments. That's too kind of you. Probably forgot to ask for them. I don't do that enough. Probably should do that at the beginning of a video. But if you could do me a huge favor, if you want these videos to be daily, I need you to hit the like button. I need you to drop a comment. I need the view count to continue to go up, 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 and I'll continue to be here every single morning for you. Good luck today, my friends. I hope you have a good day. Hope you win some money. See you inside Discord.